time for a CBJ in 30 short shift. Here's Bob McElligott.
Yes, that's right. You're just getting a short shift edition of CBJ in 30 today. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. A couple of reasons. Number one, it's the day after Thanksgiving. There are many of you that aren't working today. Many of you are probably trying to get in some Black Friday shopping. Many of you don't have 30 minutes to sit down and be able to go through the whole thing today. So that's number one. Number two, it doesn't work for me, which actually is number one when it's all said and done. But my son has a hockey game this afternoon playing in the high school hockey tournament here in Columbus. I haven't seen him play a game yet this year, so I'm going to go see him play. But first, I'm going to give you this short shift edition of CBJ in 30 as the Blue Jackets are getting set to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs at Nationwide Arena tonight. Second matchup of the year, second matchup of the week between these two teams. On Monday, the Blue Jackets built a 2-0 lead in the first period in Toronto. Then they fell apart and wound up losing the game 4-2. It was the way the goals were scored that bothered John Tortorella, their head coach, after the game. First goal, Tyler Ennis, fourth-line guy, small, quick, goes behind the net, changes direction, fakes out Brandon Dubinsky and other Blue Jackets, comes back out into the right wing circle. Sergei Bobrovsky takes a peek to the middle, thinking there might be a pass. When he looks back, the puck is already on its way and between his legs through the 5-hole into the net, and Toronto cut the lead to 2-1. Then Mitch Marner, very gifted player, comes down the ice, battling on his way down the ice, gets not one but two shots away. Well, he gets his own rebound, I should say. Gets a shot away, gets his own rebound, passes to John Tavares. Zach Werenski is right on Tavares, doesn't take him out of the play. Tavares scores, makes it a 2-2 game. On to the third period. The Blue Jackets blow their coverage on the faceoff. Lucas Sedlak goes to the wrong man. That allows Zach Hyman to slide right to the front of the net. The Maple Leafs get the puck to him. He puts it in. It's a 3-2 game. They add an empty netter a little bit later on to set the final score. Not a good game for the Blue Jackets. Not something they're proud of. Not something they're happy about. Something they have a chance to correct here tonight against the very same team. Earlier today, I had a chance to catch up with Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella. Torch, did you have a nice Thanksgiving, give your mind a rest a little bit?
Yeah, it was my wife and daughter are visiting my son out in Savannah where he's based, and it was me and the animals. So I didn't say one word to one person all day long, so it was great.
So you'll be fully charged tonight. I hate to be an official in this game.
No, I'm good. No. I'm glad the thing I'm thankful for is my daughter and wife was able to go see my son. My son hasn't had much company in the last little while. I'm thrilled that happened.
Well, Monday night you played Toronto. You haven't played since then. I know you were hot after the game, and rightfully so, because your team made mistakes that cost them that game. As you've reflected on it the last couple of days, do you look at it in any more positive light?
No, there's nothing to be positive about it. It's just it's a coverage for years. If you're the left winger, you clear the circle first in the face-off, and then if it goes to the right point of the opposing team, that is your guy. I don't know what happened to Sedzi. I know Johnny Tavares touched the puck and then dumped it off to, I think it was Riley. I don't know why Sedzi goes man on man. It's his point man. But Bobby, no one play determines a win or a loss, or getting a point or 2 points. But it's just a brain cramp, and we move on and try to get better.
And that being said, you're leaving Lucas in the lineup tonight. It's very easy to look and say, well, there's Oliver Bjorkstrand, maybe we work him in, but you're giving him another chance.
Yeah, Sedzi's put in some good minutes. I certainly don't like that play. He's got to be able to handle that situation. He'll learn from it, but he's given us some good minutes, and that fourth line has too, so they stay.
Zach Werenski makes a play where John Tavares scores a goal because he didn't take him off the puck even though he was right on him. And I know how much you love Zach and his play. I know you've been stressing the defense. Does a play like that kind of drive you crazy when you're stressing to him he's got to play better defense?
And he's been proved in that area, but that's an easy play for me. To me, it's really a nothing play on the rush. Harry gets beat twice, and a pretty good player. Marner's a pretty good player, but I think Harry's got to be stiffer. And Z's only responsibility is take that next guy in the end zone. Everything else is covered. Just get your guy. And trust your partner has the other guy. And doesn't do the job, ends up flat in his ass, and the puck's in the back of our net. So, again, we got to keep on working with him. I think he's had tremendous improvement in that area, but we still got to work with him.
Your top line dominated in the first period. They got more quiet as the game went on. Did Mike Babcock make some adjustments in that game?
Well, what he did is he ended up using Lindholm and Brown. He just put 3 checkers on our top line. Quite honestly, I didn't mind it because I was going to play Luke a lot. It was going to keep Tavares off the ice when I played Luke, and I was hoping our top line would score a goal against their checkers. And we didn't. Johnny Tavares scores a goal, and it ends up being in a game in the third period that's a tight game. But I liked the way we played in the game. I mean, it's 19-10 in scoring chances. Anderson's the difference in that game. He keeps them there, makes a couple of great saves in the third period. We just don't get it done in the third.
You know, Panarin, people look at the goals that he hasn't scored in a while. It's not so much that for me, but there are some games where it looks like teams will double team him and they really put the extra pressure on him, and that he can get frustrated in that department. And he really is the engine of that line still, isn't he?
Yeah. I think Luke has kind of carried the load a little bit here too. But you know, I know Brett hasn't scored a goal. He's all over the scoring chance 4 sheet that we keep track of as far as us generating off. It's all over it every night. So he'll score his goals. I really like the way that line's playing. I thought they did a really good job playing in behind the net against Toronto, which we need to be there tonight. So hopefully they can keep going.
Did the speed of that game surprise you the other night at all?
No, they're a good team. I mean, they're a good team. I think once they got their legs, coming off the West Coast, and I think we did a pretty good job in the first period trying to establish ourselves. We lose the game, but be really careful how you determine it, because we played good. We played a good hockey game, and I thought we played well enough to win. But again, like I said in the morning, it's not the NHL. It's the FAW League. Find a way to win. They found a way to win. We didn't.
And the ironic thing is your team hasn't played since Monday, looking to make some amends for that tonight. They went and played in Carolina. They got beat. So each team has quite the reason to get the win tonight.
Yeah, and they're going to be better tonight. Yeah, they'll be better. That game coming off the West Coast, I know general managers don't like to hear about it, but it happens. It's hard on the athlete. They're going to be faster tonight. We got to be ready to go.
Are you glad to be playing the same team back-to-back, just in the way of the preparation's easier, the team still has that team in their mind?
No, it doesn't even change our preparation. It really doesn't. We prepare for each and every game the way we prepare. We play them Toronto back-to-back. I don't care who it is. We just need to get it. We don't want to lose 2 in a row, and we're trying to stay away from that. And so we got to try to find a way to win in our building.
All right, I like that. FAW. Thanks, Torts. Good luck.
FAW, man. All right.
That is Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella, and I love what he said. The FAW League. Find a way. That's really all that it's about. That's really what life is about, to be honest with you. Find a way. It doesn't matter how you get there. Just find a way to get there. And that's what the Blue Jackets will attempt to do tonight. Now, I will tell you, I'm a little bit surprised that he gives Lucas Sedlak the opportunity to get back in the lineup here tonight with Oliver Bjorkstrand sitting out. But again, Bjorkstrand and Sedlak are 2 different players. Sedlak is a fourth-line player. The Blue Jackets have a fourth-line checking, grinding line for the first time this year, really, over the course of the last couple of games, and Tortorella doesn't want to mess with that. So he is going to leave that intact tonight, give Sedlak the opportunity, and Lucas feels bad. He knows what he did. He knows he made a mistake. He knows he made a mistake at a critical time of the game, and if you are going to be the type of coach that every time somebody makes a mistake, you're going to take them out of the lineup, and they know it. If they know that one mistake and they're gone, they're not going to play the right way. They're going to be tentative. They're going to be afraid to make the mistake. They are going to actually make more mistakes by not just letting themselves go. And John Tortorella is well aware of that. Was he mad at Sedlak? Yes. Is he still mad at him today? Yes, you could hear it. He's still unhappy with the play on Monday. But that was on Monday. That was then. This is now. He wants to have Riley Nash, Marcus Hannikainen, and Lucas Sedlak on a checking line, so he keeps Sedlak in the lineup here tonight. The Blue Jackets have also struggled at home this year. And when I say struggle, I don't mean that they've been terrible, but I do mean that they haven't been better than not. And so what am I really trying to say? I don't know. That's a good question because it's really not great English. But here it is. Let me do it by the numbers. 5-4-1 at home, 7-3 on the road. Okay, so that puts it into perspective for you right there. Just a game over 500 at home. They've got to be better than that. You've got to, the real formula is win 75% of your home games, win half your road games, and you're in great shape, right? Really simple. High numbers, but really simple. You're going to be in great shape. Just because the Blue Jackets, by the way, are in the playoff picture at American Thanksgiving, as they say in the hockey world, doesn't mean that it's a slam dunk, believe me. And I think that's something that people should really, really take a look at, especially the way this division is sizing up right now. The chances are, 76 or 78% chance you're going to be in the playoffs if you're in the playoff picture at Thanksgiving. Okay, that's fine. But I also remember last year the chances were 78 or maybe even 80-something when a team goes up 2-0 in a best-of-7 series that they continue on, and that didn't happen. So I am not taking those numbers to heart. I am going to take that with a grain of salt. But the Blue Jackets 5-4-1 at home. They haven't played like they need to at Nationwide Arena. I talked to Seth Jones about that a little bit earlier today. It probably has already popped up at BlueJackets.com. And I asked him, do you have to try to save from putting on a show? Because I really think, despite what players and coaches say, I really think that when teams play at home, there are times they try to do too much. There are times they are trying so much to entertain the home fans that it causes them to make mistakes. Whereas you go on the road, you just play simple, you play boring, you take the other crowd out of the game, and it's fun to do that. Well, they need to find the balance here tonight. Yes, you want to put on a show, but you also want to win the game. And winning the game is first and foremost, right? So that's what the concentration is going to be for the Blue Jackets here tonight, trying to find a way to win the game. So Seth said, yeah, I really wouldn't call it putting on a show, but, we've got to play our game. And they can't let Toronto use their speed. And they allowed them to use their speed the other night. A little bit too much. The Blue Jackets are fast, don't get me wrong. They have to play with their speed, but it is the speed of Toronto that is very dangerous and can be a big factor in this game if you don't take care of it. If you're not responsible in the neutral zone, if you're giving up odd man rushes, then you are going to be in for a world of hurt potentially tonight. Sergei Bobrovsky will start in this game for the Blue Jackets. I am a little bit not surprised. I almost said surprised. I'm not surprised he's going to start in this game, but here's the little bit of question that I have. And I toyed with asking Torts about this when I got done with my interview, and I didn't because I know how much he hates the question about tomorrow. But let's put it into perspective. Manny Legacy said before the opener on October 4th, no goalie would play back-to-back before Christmas. The Blue Jackets are in Pittsburgh tomorrow to take on a Penguins team that has been struggling but is coming off a 5-1 win over Dallas. A Penguins team that's without their starting goaltender, Matt Murray, who's hurt again. Pardon me if I put on my surprise face. But if that stays the case, if that stays the plan, I should say, that would mean Korpisalo starts in Pittsburgh tomorrow, which I find very interesting. And I'll say this. I also wouldn't be a bit surprised if the plan goes under the knife and changes before tomorrow. Of course, we'll wait and see how Sergei plays tonight. Let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is a team that also has played very well on the road. They come into tonight's game with a record of 8-2 away from the Scotiabank Arena, which I still can't grasp the new name of that building in Toronto. I struggle with it. Anyway, they're 8-2 away from home. They went to California last week. They won all 3 games. They're used to playing on the road. Now, they played on the road 2 nights ago, and they got whacked. They were down 2-1 going into the third period. They wound up losing to the Carolina Hurricanes, and so that's the game that they're coming off of. They lost to the Hurricanes by the score of 5-2. John Tavares had one of the 2 goals. He's now up to 14 on the season. Kasperi Kapanen had the other goal. And by the way, this is the guy that seems to be benefiting the most from the absence of William Nylander, Kasperi Kapanen. And he is a player that the Blue Jackets tried to get. They tried to get him when he was drafted. He was drafted by Pittsburgh, and he was sent to Toronto as part of the Phil Kessel trade. But when he was being drafted, he was a first-round pick of the Penguins. Jarmo Kekalainen was trying desperately to make a deal that he could acquire Kapanen. Obviously, it didn't work out, but he was very highly thought of by the Blue Jackets general manager. The goal that he got the other night was his 9th of the year. He's got 16 points in 22 games. So he is benefiting from more ice time in the absence of William Nylander, and he has been making the most of it. So that is a secondary guy to watch for tonight. Tavares, you always watch for. Mitch Marner, he's a great player. He's why the Maple Leafs are in trouble with their salary cap, because you've got Austin Matthews, who's injured, not even playing, and my goodness, what a talent he is. You've got him, you've got Marner, you're now paying big bucks to Tavares, and that's why Nylander is the odd man out right now. That's why he's looking for a lot of money that the Leafs don't seem to have to give to him in just a second contract. But again, that situation has got to remedy itself by December 1st. If he's not signed by December 1st, he can't play in the league this entire year. So it's still a situation to watch because, oh, by the way, today is the 23rd of November. That means a week from today is the last day of November. So that situation gets bigger and bigger as the days go on. But Kasperi Kapanen is one of the secondary scorers that the Leafs are counting on, and the Blue Jackets have to find a way to neutralize here tonight. 7 o'clock game time at Nationwide Arena. You'll be able to hear pregame coverage starting at 6:45 on the Blue Jackets radio network. In Columbus tonight, we're going to be on our backup flagship, if you will, the secondary station. CD 102.5 FM is where you'll be able to find us in Columbus tonight, of course, throughout the state and even into West Virginia. You can find us on the radio network on your local station, which you can check if your local station happens to be on the Blue Jackets radio network by going to bluejackets.com. Of course, you can get it right through your phone by using the Blue Jackets app, by using the TuneIn app, and by using bluejackets.com on your computer. There you go. So that gets you up to date. Tonight, it's the Blue Jackets and the Maple Leafs closing out their home-and-home series. This has been a short shift edition of CBJ in 30. Enjoy your Black Friday. I'm Bob McElligott. I'll talk to you tonight.